Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to another epic battle in 3rd Age Reforged. This was a 4-player free-for-all, and it was submitted by Donald Kingslayer, so thank you very much for that. And it's long overdue as well. He did send this to me probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I've just been so busy that I haven't gotten it to it until now. But never fear, I did not forget. I've got a couple of other replays that have been sent to me through my Discord as well. You guys are more than welcome to join the Discord should you choose, and I have a replays section where you can just drop the file right into the folder so that I can grab it and upload it for you guys when I have time. But without further ado, let's take a look at these army comps. So we're going to take a look at Donald Kingslayer's army first. He's playing as the glorious realm of Lothlorien, and he's got all of his forces kind of deployed on this one little rocky section here. He's got his stakes out in front, so it makes me think that he is going to play it quite defensively. But he's got a lot of good archers here in the front lines. He's got some Sylvan Rangers. And then more towards the center, he's got his Lothlorien archers, which I think are one of the most elite archers they can bring. And he's got some Edel Tirith on the far side. Right in behind that, he's got some Lothlorien spears and Lothlorien axes. Looks like he's got 3 units of the axes. And then he's brought some pikemen as well. He's got the Karis Kaladon's Guardians. And I'm not sure if this is his general, but we do have a couple units facing the other direction just in case he does get outflanked. And they are Sylvan Staffmasters, 2 units of them. And then he's also got his Sindar archers. And actually, this may very well be his general. Yes, I do believe so with the red cape. So a lot of really nice archers brought to the battlefield, and a perfect position for the Lothloriens as well, having that range to be able to fire down upon the enemy as they approach. And he's also brought 1 unit of Galadrim Riders as well, so some Bocavs. Going to be hopefully pretty annoying with these early on in the engagement. Possibly when the other 2 are fighting each other, he may try to, get some skirmishing in there. But that is it for Donald Kingslayer's army, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. The next army on the battlefield today is the Dwarves of Khazad-dûm, commanded by Falman. I believe that's how you pronounce your name, Falman. But he's really spread out. As you look at the minimap up in the top right-hand corner there, he is the one that is spread out kind of in a long line, but he's also got some troops kind of deployed back towards one of the other enemies. So he's got 3 units of the 2nd Legion Axe Guard over on this side. So let's go ahead and take a look at what else he's bringing to the battle. So over here he's got 4 units of the 3rd Legion Infantry. Dwarves just having some awesome looking infantry. So he's kind of got them in blocks here, all of his army. But let's zoom on over here. He does have some deployed up on the hill here. He's got some Dwarven Miners, a cheap throwaway unit, but right behind that, he does have some Mithril Guard, and he's got a Ballista as well with a pretty good position. He will have to move them up just a little bit to kind of get a better shot. But more of his army is down below in the field, or in the valley. He's got some Warriors of Khazad-dûm here with the Dwarven Miners. So that's a 2nd unit of Dwarven Miners. And then he's got some Sentries of Khazad-dûm holding this gap, looking very awesome. And then he's got a couple units of Warriors of Khazad-dûm, looks like 2 units, with a 3rd one not in loose formation up on the hilltop. And I think that's almost the end of his army. He's got a couple more units of Dwarven Miners over to this side. And yeah, I think that rounds out his force. So yeah, pretty spread out, but he's got some really good strategic positions to hold down from. And I think this is going to be a very hard position to take, especially with these Sentries of Khazad-dûm, and then even filtering in the Dwarven Miners after the pikemen have kind of gotten a little bit depleted. These cheaper units can hold well if they have some pike units mixed in to help hold the line. But that is it for the 2nd army, so let's go ahead and take a look at the 3rd one. The 3rd army on the battlefield today is Mordor, commanded by 2nd Pink. You can't really have a 3rd Age battle without Mordor, or having some good old orcs on the battlefield. And he's gone for definitely a quantity build, although he does have a couple of elite units filtered in between. So he's got a couple units of these orc archers here, about 3 units. And then he's got some of these Morannon archers mixed in, 1 unit here and 1 over on this side. Looks like they're just a little bit more heavily armored than the orc archers. But he's got some Temple Guard over here, which looks like a very awesome archer unit. probably quite expensive as well. Usually in Medieval 2 and 3rd Age mods, the smaller units too seem to be the more expensive ones. So that's only a unit of 53. And for his main body infantry, he's got 4 or 5 units of the Morannon infantry. I hope that I pronounced that correctly, but 200 in the unit. And look what we got mixed in between here. We've got some Nazgul, and I'm not sure if this is his general or not. It could possibly be the general's bodyguard, but he's also got some temple executioners in the mix as well. And then right in behind that, he's got 4 units of the Morannon halberds. These guys look awesome. And he's got some troll drummers and some Oleg Hai on the little hilltop here. And right in behind, I guess, just to make sure that he doesn't get outflanked, he's got a couple units of orc fodder. But a very tight formation, so I expect him to be pretty aggressive from the very beginning. But we've just got one more army to take a look at, and then we'll get the battle started. The final army on the battlefield today is Rhun, commanded by Frodo, and that's a hilarious name. If you're watching, just kudos to you. That is too funny. But actually, I think it's the first time that I've ever had a 3rd Age replay up on the channel that has featured Rhun. And Rhun is one of my favorite evil factions in Lord of the Rings. I'd have to say my favorite good faction would be Rohan, and my favorite evil faction, Rhun. They just look so awesome. But he's got all of his elite units kind of at the very back of his army. He's got some Camille's Chosen here, and he's got some Luke Sign Rim. And again, guys, if pronunciation is off, feel free to correct me. But he's got really nice archers here too. 2 units of Luke Nar Rim, and then he's got a couple units of Luke Flag Rim, 3 units of them. And then we kind of get into a little bit of cheaper troops, but not really. He's actually got some Luke Gamperim here, which is a halberd unit. Looking very nice. And for his he's also got a ballista, but he's got some archers back here, some Eastron crossbowmen, and I think he had another unit over here. Yes, he does. And we've got Camille's Dragon Knights, and I believe that this would be the general right at the back here. And he also has a unit of Vareg mercenary riders, so I'm not sure. I think this might be yeah, it is missile cavalry, so maybe we'll see some toe-to-toe action between them and the Lothlorien missile cav. And then right in the front lines, he's got 1 unit of Eastron hunters to round out his force. So that is it for the army comps, guys, so let's go ahead and get started with this battle. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and the battle actually starts almost right away. It looks like some of the Dwarven units have spawned or deployed within range of these Lothlorien archers, and that has triggered an all-out aggressive rush from Falman. Here you can see he's bringing forward some units of 3rd Legion infantry, and he is just rushing up this slope as quickly as possible. He's also got a unit of 3rd Legion coming up around the other side to flank around, but we're going to have our first clash over here. It looks like the Lothlorien axes are well aware of the incoming dwarves here. They are getting showered by arrows as we speak, but the dwarves are sturdy, their armor is thick, and they should be able to get into melee without many casualties at all. And here we go. Looks like we're going to have the first clash of the battle. Well done. Dwarves versus elves, old arch enemies. So Donald Kingslayer over here fighting against the 3rd Legion of Falman. You can see we've got the Galadrim Riders over here that are helping to lend aid by firing down over here onto the Dwarves of Khazad-dûm. Also over here we've got some units fighting in melee against, what is this? It looks like a unit of Sylvan Spears. I must not have noticed them during the army comms. It's possible that they may have been hidden, or I just missed them entirely. However, what were they actually skirmishing? Yeah, it looks like they were only skirmishing the Dwarven miners, so that's not a huge loss for Falman, but at the same time, he's being super aggressive over here. You can see that the Morannon halberds here going right into melee with the 2nd Legion Axe Guard, so right away, the Dwarves of Khazad-dûm are fighting against 2 other players, so I really respect this offensive play here by Falman, really taking the fight to the orcs and the elves. But I suspect that the Morannon halberds and the Morannon infantry won't really stand up to the dwarves. Although, it looks like they are actually being flanked around by some more Morenan infantry. And, oh, there we go. Looks like we've got the Dwarven Ballista that has got an excellent position. So, just as I said, you can see that he's positioned it right up on the hill. And he's getting some awesome shots into this massive blob here. Second Pink really clumping up his forces. He's going to have to be careful because he's going to lose a lot of men in this one area. Oh, big friendly fire, though, against the Dwarves of Khazad-dûm. And actually, they're routing. No way. They are routing because of that ballista shot. Incredible. And it looks like the other unit or two are still fighting again. He's still getting a ton of shots with this ballista. Really nice job. I think maybe this was his plan all along, to hold up the orcish hordes and then just go to town on them with the ballista. But I am seeing some movement over here. It looks like the Olag High are going straight for that ballista crew. And unfortunately, the ballista is... Actually, it is defended. I was going to say it's undefended, but we've got some Mithril Guard here. Unfortunately, they're going to be a little bit too slow, and the Olag High are going to be able to probably engage the ballista crew in melee, and that will effectively stop them from firing. There we go, charging in. And it looks like even the ballista is in range of those Lothlorien archers. So, very aggressive play so far here in this battle. Let's see how we're doing over here. Wow, it looks like the elves are struggling a little bit. The dwarves have actually pushed through, but it looks like they are kind of glitched in place. Looks like they are supposed to be routing, but they're just not moving. And the dwarven miners are actually breaking out. How are we looking over here? It's more of an even battle down on this side, I would say. We got the Karas Kaladin's Guardians in the mix against the Dwarves of Khazad-dûm, who actually are shaken now. What's been going on with Rhun? Are they taking a more casual approach? It looks like they're kind of just waiting to see what goes on, allowing the enemies to expend their man count before they move in to hopefully secure victory. It looks like we've got a couple units of orc fodder on that line watching the incoming runic hordes. But yeah, it looks like the last bit of the 2nd Legion Axe Guard is going to be wiped out. This is actually an awesome battle so far. It's really taken off, that is for certain. And it looks like the Temple Executioners were engaged in melee as well. And I think that now that they've wrapped up that flank, they will be reinforcing the front line against Rhun. So it's good to see that we're kind of respecting the 1v1. Olag High returning with 5, so I'm not sure if they were able to destroy the ballista crew completely. I think that they have succeeded in that, and they've just decided to pull back from the Mithril Guard entirely. Now, the dwarves over here, it looks like their final units are actually splitting up. I think that might be a bad idea, because the dwarves are definitely depleted from fighting both the orcs and the elves. I would probably try and get my forces all together and hold out in one last stand. But we've got some dwarven miners over here against the Lothlorien axes. I know that the miners are a pretty cheap unit, so I don't expect them to do too much in this battle. And we've also got some reinforcements over here. Are they fighting anything? Oh, it looks like we've actually got some more dwarves. Wow. So, yeah, Falman really being aggressive here. The Sylvan Staffmasters have had to be pulled from the back lines here to hold this other choke point. And what do we have here? Oops. Looks like some warriors of Khazad-dûm mixed in with some dwarven miners. However, a lot of them are shaken. I'm kind of surprised to see such terrible morale from the dwarves. I'm not sure if that's evident from the latest patch, or I haven't heard a general being killed for the dwarves yet, so I'd assume that he's still alive. But I was under the impression that dwarves just kind of fought for forever down to the last man. But yeah, so Donald Kingslayer definitely having his hands full on all sides here, but it looks like he did manage to win on this flank. We've got the 3rd Legion breaking from the battlefield. And let's go ahead and see what's going on down here. So we've got 2 massive armies just kind of staring at each other. The more healthy option, of course, is Rhun. They haven't seen any battle whatsoever yet. And he is protecting some of his more elite infantry behind this mountain. But I'm not sure that the dwarves, or sorry, that the orcs had a ballista. I don't think they brought any artillery. So I'm wondering if it's just precautionary then. Ooh, we've got the Nazgul moving forwards over here. I'm not sure where they're headed to. Or maybe he's trying to protect them by pushing them into the ranks of Morennan halberds. Because it's possible that they are being focused down by the runic archers. And man, those troll drummers just going to town. Looks like we've still got some archers firing over towards where the elves are formed up. We've actually got some sentries of Khazad-dûm coming up here now, so he is still filtering in his forces. I think we've got the Mithril Guard over here, reinforcing what's left of the Dwarven Miners. And it looks like the Dwarven Miners are still in melee with 5 men, so that is more of the caliber I'd expect the dwarves to be. But we've got some of the Lothlorien archers who have probably used up all their ammo, and we've got the Karis Caladrin spears coming in to face off against more Dwarven Miners, and I think the sentries of Khazad-dûm moving in as well.
Only half the enemy force remains.
So, yeah, I'm not sure if the dwarves are going to have enough to finish off the Lothlorien elves in this one. But I just want to keep my eyes over there. Just make sure nothing's going on, because I don't really want to... Actually, it looks like we've got the Kennel's Chosen, or sorry, the Dragon Knights moving in. Yeah, trying to go for the early harass off on these archers, and he looks like he is going to commit to it. No, he stopped just in time. So it looks like the Orc archers are pulling away, and that gives the Runic archers some valuable time to fire into their backs as they retreat. Well done to Second Pink, though. He's got his Orc fodder actually mixed in with his Morennan archers to soak up, you know, some of the damage that the Rune archers are inflicting. But it looks like he is going to push them forwards just a little bit more, because they do need to get, I think, better. They probably have worse range than the Runic archers, so they do need to get a little bit closer. But well done to the Dragon Knights. Here, oh, actually, here they come. They're committing for a charge here. Yeah, just running down that Orc fodder and then pulling back as quickly as they came. He's going to have to be careful, though, because if I'm not mistaken, this is the General's bodyguard. And he was shaken there for a little bit, but now he's eager. So it's possible that we do have some morale changes from the llast time I played or recorded Third Age Reforged. But yeah, we've still got some Sylvan Rangers over here firing, and that would be half of the Lothlorien elves destroyed now. It is a bloody battle for this hilltop, that is for sure. Let's see what's going down over here. Okay, so it looks like Falman over here is actually surrounded the elves here with some miners. It looks like Donald Kingslayer has moved up to stop the reinforcements from coming in, but at least one unit has gotten around the elves. And we've got some very solid sentries of Khazad-dûm here fighting against the Lothlorien archers. It looks like that's mostly what's here. Lothlorien spears. I'm not sure if the Karis Caladrin spears have pulled out.
Defeat seems almost certain.
Yeah, we've got some fighting over here. The sentries of Khazad-dûm just slaughtering what's left of the Edel... I didn't even see what that is. Edel Tirith, I think it was called. And now the Lothlorien axe is kind of coming down to hopefully save their surrounded brethren, but the warriors of Khazad-dûm cutting them off from flanking around the Dwarven miners in behind there. And the Lothlorien flag still flies strong. Let's actually go ahead and take a look and see if there's battle over here. No, still not yet. These two players are really intent on kind of skirmishing each other down. However, I think that Rhun has the upper hand on that. The orcs are losing quite a few of their archers and their infantry units. Like, the whole field is just littered with bodies of orcs. Not many of the Rhun ones. Looks like we got a couple units that would be from Rhun, but I think it's one of their cheaper archer units.
Pray something changes in the course of battle. For defeat
Yeah, we've got the East Rhun crossbowmen over here. Just having a heyday, firing down into the ranks of these Morannon archers. And actually, what do we have over here on the flanks? We've got some East Rhun hunters
They have lost half their men.
moving into melee. There we go. We've got the orc fodder charging in, but I don't know if the orc fodder is going to win that engagement. But when do they win any engagement? Oh, actually, yeah, they broke them. Well done. Oh, but now that's right. Rhun has a ballista as well. This is really bad news for the orcs. They cannot sit back. And I think Second Pink has realized exactly that. He has to push forwards. Now that that ballista is unleashing, the only thing he can do to save his orcs, I was going to say his men, but they're orcs, aren't they? But the only way that he can save his army is by moving them into melee quick time. And here we go, the Olag High rushing forwards as well. He's going to have to be careful, though, because that ballista, if it gets a hold of one of those Olag High, it's still a one-shot kill. But here we go, the Orc Fodder actually being the first ones to silence that ballista. So well done there by Second Pink, neutralizing that artillery before it got too many kills. And now we're starting to see the battle unfold. With the orcs committing over here, looks like they are committing against the Luke Cyanrim. But we've got the Luke Gamperim, the great golden halberds, pushing forwards as well. Hold, men, hold. I'm kind of rooting for Rhun in this one, if I'm honest. They're my favorite faction on the battlefield right now. Although I do love dwarves too. But well done to the realm of Lothlorien here. I've really cutting down a lot of the dwarves here. Really solid play, but unfortunately it looks like the dwarves flanking around those archers were able to kind of catch most of Donald Kingslayer's army in melee and just surround them and wipe them out. So I don't think he has too much left. He's got this unit of Sylvan Rangers, which is engaged against the Warriors of Khazad-dûm. He's also got his Staff Masters. And looks like a unit of Lothlorien Archers, but unfortunately they are now surrounded. So it looks like Falman's aggressive play there paid off. Like, he paid for it dearly. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, he was able to really do a massive amount of damage to the realm of Lothlorien. And I think that with him moving forward so quickly...
The enemy general lies dead.
Wow, that is bad news for the runic player. But yeah, I think the dwarves moving so quickly into melee really neutralized the potency of the elven arrows. Didn't really get too many kills. Now, where is the general? And how did he die? I don't even know where he died on the battlefield, to be honest. It was wherever the Olag High were. I think that's who killed them. Oh, they're way back here. Yeah, there we go. So it looks like the Olag High striking down the general. Okay, and there goes the Dwarven general. So the Elven general and the Orc general, the only ones still alive on the battlefield. And the Olag High actually down to 2 men, or two trolls. I'm not sure if they're breaking or not. Nope, looks like they're just running off. They gotta be somewhere else. He's trying to lock in them with the Orc Fodder and then get the charge bonus off with the Olag High once again. But oh my goodness, just look at the amount of bodies on the battlefield here. And those are all from the Orcs. And to be honest, I think it's going to come down to Rhun and the Dwarves, because the Orcs, they just don't have enough numbers, I don't think. Looks like the Temple Executioners pushing back the Loot Flag Rim, which is definitely good. And now they'll be able to flank around the Loot Gam Rim. We've also got the Temple Executioners getting the Easteron Crossbowmen in melee. However, I think they have used up most of their ammo at this point. So yeah, just a lot more bodies being thrown into the mix. I think he's now using his Loot Nar Rim. And we've got some Kemil's Chosen over here and Kemil's Swordsman flanking around and breaking this unit of Moranen infantry. And how are we looking over here? What's left in the fight? The Sylvan Staffmaster is actually holding strong. The sentries of Khazad-dûm are actually shaken. So this actually could be anybody's game. Donald Kingslayer really holding out with the Sylvan Rangers over here as well, fighting the warriors of Khazad-dûm. I think this Sylvan Staffmasters over here actually will win it. And same over here, he's got a unit of Sindar archers fighting one dwarf. We've got one dwarf over here fighting like 20 elves. Oh, and there he goes. Somebody write a song for that brave fallen dwarf. And actually, that's the general. He was fighting the general too. There goes the red cloak.
They have lost half their men.
That elven general is bloodied, but he is still alive, and that's what counts. And how we look at over here. Looks like this battle has been divided into two sides here, but there we go. Nice charge from the 2 units of Dragon Knights left, actually breaking one of the Orc fodder units. And what do we got here? Yeah, looks like Kemil's Shadow Bows. I did not see this unit in the army comps as well. My apologies. But it looks like they've used up all their ammo, so being sent into the mix against the Moranen infantry. And over here, yeah, the halberds are just... they just don't have enough. But I do see some Nazgul in melee.
Defeat seems almost certain.
So I'm wondering if the Nazgul will be able to turn the tide, although I'm not too sure. And well done here by Frodo with the Loot Gam Rim, actually flanking around these Temple Executioners.
Our army is tiring.
So they most certainly will be dead. There's no escape for them. Oh, but here we go. We've got the Nazgul actually flanking the Loot Gam Rim here. So it looks like they just disengaged from the other unit here and are trying to save their Temple Executioners, but I do think that that is a lost cause. And if I'm not mistaken, the Olag High have been slain, as well as the Troll Drummers. I think that they're dead as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at what else is going on up here. Should be just about done. Again, this is a really close battle, coming down to a very few numbers. I'm actually not too sure why the battle says it's so long. It's just over half over. But I believe the Elven General is over here. Yes, you can see him. Right there with his golden hair, fighting the Dwarves right in the front lines of his men. Respectable general. And I do hear the rally horn of Rhun sounded like. I'm not sure if that is them sounding victory. Over on this side. Yeah, it looks to be that way. We just got a couple units of Orc fodder. And what do we got over here? Oh, looks like the Nazgul actually retreating from the battlefield but not breaking. So I'm not sure if he's looking to try and hang on until the very end with his Nazgul, but I do suspect that this is the General's bodyguard here. Look at this Nazgul here too. Oh, he was cut down. He was running in and amongst the Lothlorien, but he was unfortunately cut down running away. And now the Nazgul will be fighting in melee. I guess this is their final stand. So they tried to escape, but they realized that it's no longer possible. And this guy over here just got owned by a Nazgul. I would probably not be on the front lines as a runic player, or a runic unit here. I'd probably be somewhere in behind. And actually, it looks like we've got a Nazgul here behind enemy lines, fighting in melee. He's actually getting quite a few kills. Almost every swing he gets is a kill. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Rest in pieces, my friend. Oh, oh, here we go. Oh. This must be the general here. It's gotta be.
Our general lies slain upon the
And there we go. Donald Kingslayer's general cut down.
Our men have fled. Defeat seems almost certain.
Where's the last? Yeah, look, I think this is the general's bodyguard here. He's actually escaped from that massive blob. I don't know if they have any others still fighting in melee. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3 more, 4, 5, 6. Actually, yeah, so pretty healthy unit. 7 still left, I believe. It says 9. Oh, there we go.
His troops will lose their will to fight.
So now I believe all generals are dead in this battle. And if we just run quickly over here, ooh, that medieval 2 camera. Every time you go over mountains, that's kind of what happens. Okay, so it looks like the last of the elves have been slaughtered, but this is all that is left of the dwarven army. I'd say, what, 60 men? 100 men, maybe? It's 27 in this unit, 30, 32, 37, 47. 47, so less than 50 men in the dwarven army still left alive. And I think we may have a little cut here, because I'm not sure, but the dwarves are probably going to be moving over to, I guess, suicide charge into the army of Rhun here. But what's still going on? They're still fighting over here, eh? These Nazgul just do not give up. There we go. We've got one right there. Is he the only one left? No, it still says there's 8 left. So they must be one of the unbreakable units that just fights to the last. And even surrounded, these Nazgul are going to get a ton of kills. And it looks like Frodo is pulling back some of his missile units. I think he doesn't want, you know, his forces too clumped up. It is kind of true that if you get them really clumped up, they aren't really as effective. Just having 1 or 2 units fighting them is maybe the better option. But especially having the melee infantry engaging them would be the better option instead of throwing away your archers. Yeah, he's pulling back Camel's shadow bows as well. So just facing off. Oh, nice! And this Nazgul actually taking down the last of the runic cavalry there. That was epic. But let's see what we got. We got some Camel's Chosen over here. What are they fighting against? Yeah, see, we've got a Nazgul over here, so they're really spread out on the battlefield. Very interesting. And we've got some crossbows here. But I think that's pretty much most of the battle. Looks like we've got the brave sentries of Khazad-dûm coming over here to face some of the runic forces. What brave, brave dwarves. There we go. The last battle of the dwarves. And is that it? Where's the rest of their infantry? Oh, look at this. We've got one lone dwarf escaping here. One unit of 3rd Legion running for his life. That would probably be me. But yeah, I think that's all for the dwarves. That's all she wrote. Zip on back here and see if they finally cleared out this Nazgul. No, they have not. That is incredible. Camille's Chosen fighting this one Nazgul in melee. And it just doesn't want to die. How many are still left in their unit? They're down to 4 now, so I think they are starting to drop a little bit more frequently, but that is very funny that almost half of the battle time is just the Nazgul who will not break. Oh, dang. Stabbed in the side. But I think once the dwarves are destroyed, I'm going to make a little cut and bring it to the end screen. I think we all know who the winner is going to be. But as these dwarves start to thin out, we will make a cut and then just probably bring it to the end turn screen. Unless something amazing happens and the Nazgul manage to slaughter 800 of the runic infantry that's still left on the battlefield, but I just highly doubt that they're that OP. Let's see it from the dwarves' standpoint there. Down to 3 men. Although there's 4 still fighting, unless that's a different unit. Yeah, 4. 4 men total. Oh, no! No, have mercy! Oh, darn. Poor little feller. And there we go. Down to 2. Come on, can this last dwarf get a kill before he dies? No, unfortunately not. And yes, I believe that's all the dwarves. We've got a glitched unit here, but that doesn't really count. So yes, I do believe that the dwarves and the elves have been completely routed off the battlefield, and we just have the Nazgul that are still left. So I am going to make a little cut here, guys. If anything does happen that's super interesting, I will bring it back to you. But until then, I'll see you at the end of the battle. Alright guys, welcome to the end screen here, and yes, so it was a victory for Frodo and his runic forces, so well done to you. We've only got 3 remaining of Donald Kingslayer's forces, but he did get the most kills, so well done to him. I think most of them were on the Dwarven army, and the Dwarven army down to 27 men, and the Orcs down to 14, so really minimal men remaining for the 3 players there. Second in line for kills being the Runic, and the third, the Dwarves, with the 4th, the Orcs. And let's go ahead and take a look at the screen here for Donald Kingslayer. Yeah, 234 by those Sindar Archers, 395 by the Sylvan Rangers. Really elite units there. And 254 by the Lothlorien Archers. But that is it for this battle, guys, so I really hope you did enjoy, and thank you very much to Donald Kingslayer for sending it in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, and as always, I will see you in the next one.